Jade Cargill is someone who seems to be roaming the earth right now looking for a place to find home. NXT WWE, would she be welcome with open arms?
Yeah, for sure. Bring her on in.
What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve Fall, and welcome to 10 Count right here on Wrestling News Co. On today's edition, I'm talking to the future, once again, NXT Women's Champion. It's Tiffany Stratton. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm talking to you, so everything is peachy keen, jelly bean. But let's jump into No Mercy coming up September 30th on Peacock. I'm pumped. You're pumped. We're all pumped. You're getting your rematch against Becky Lynch. Extreme Rules, though. A little different style. Now, the chemistry between you and Becky is undeniable. The first day you guys interacted backstage, how did you feel about this? Because it feels like you two are made for each other.
I agree. I definitely think we have great chemistry, like you said. But I feel like amazing to be even put on the same screen as Becky Lynch. She's one of the greatest of all times, in my opinion. And I'm excited for this rematch. I can't wait.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Now, even 2 weeks ago on NXT, unfortunately, we'll have to bring it up, when you lost the NXT championship to Becky Lynch, I don't know if you're aware, but the ratings for NXT that week were the highest of the year. Plus, at one point, over 1 million people were watching your match against Becky Lynch. Now, let's talk about this match because, you have Becky Lynch, but you have you. People are tuning in to see this. You are a needle mover. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I can't believe it. Honestly, I was not expecting that in the slightest, but I thought the match went amazing. Yeah.
And that one let's talk about the slip up that brought Becky Lynch even into NXT. Is this slip up? Let's put our cards on the table here. On purpose or truly by accident?
I don't know. I'm not going to reveal any of my secrets.
All right, all right. Let's talk about though how there's your person you present on television, and then there's the real version of you, of course, in the real world. What's the biggest difference? Because I think people believe everything they see on TV, but obviously you are a version of yourself on television.
hmm I definitely think there isn't much of a difference. I think just a little bit turned up a little bit. But I definitely feel like the best, wrestlers, the ones that are the most successful, definitely have the personas that they have in real life. So I tried to emulate that on TV, and it's been working.
It has definitely been working for you because, sometimes people have to move for other pieces to move forward. And again, are doing amazing work. And NXT is filled with opportunities for so many people, like free agents out there. Jade Cargill is someone who seems to be roaming the earth right now looking for a place to find home. NXT WWE, would she be welcome with open arms?
Yeah, for sure. Bring her on in. I don't know much about her, but I've seen photos of her and she's beautiful. But yeah, I'm not sure what's really going on there. So I guess we'll see.
Right. Neither do I. So I just ask the questions and hope for answers. And I think we got one there because again, the combination of Becky Lynch coming into NXT, you have Judgment Day. Is there someone from Raw or SmackDown that besides Becky Lynch? Let's put her to the side for 1 second, even though we're not going to put that aside at No Mercy, September 30th. But is anyone from Raw and SmackDown that you'd like to see come to NXT or you go to Raw and SmackDown to compete against?
Yeah, I've definitely said this before, but I'll say it again. Charlotte Flair. She's part of the reason why I got into wrestling. She was the first, women's wrestler that I saw on my TV screen. And when I saw her, I was immediately, just taken back of someone who, was so beautiful, was so strong, could do all the flips and the gymnastics. And I thought it was so cool. So I think Charlotte Flair is definitely a huge dream match for me.
Now, for the wrestlers in the locker room with you right now, all the women, do they look at Charlotte Flair as like Eddie Guerrero seems to be this person everyone's inspired by? Is Charlotte Flair for you and your generation and the people who are involved in the locker room NXT look at Charlotte Flair in that light?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think Charlotte Flair is, that girl that everyone looks at and is immediately like, wow, I want to be that one day, or I want to, you know, be there where she is and, be able to wrestle like her or just be able to hold their own like her.
Now, do you have a Mount Rushmore for professional women's wrestlers? Because there are so many good ones out there, but do you have a particular group that you put together?
I believe the four horsewomen would be, the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling for sure.
Yes, all four of them inspired so many different people in different ways. We all leave home sometimes. We're all going to come back home eventually. So I'm excited for someday a four horsewomen fatal four-way at WrestleMania Night 2. It's going to happen someday. I hope. I'll keep praying to the wrestling gods. Though Endeavor, huge news, recently announced UFC and the WWE formed a 21 plus billion-dollar global live sports and entertainment company. Rumors are running wild that they want to have a WWE premium live event and a UFC pay-per-view on the same weekend. So to combo with SmackDown Friday and then UFC, the WWE. Let's throw NXT in there as well. Thursday night sounds like a good night for a PLE for NXT. First off, let's talk about this merger because this is the biggest thing that's happened in wrestling ever. And then on top of that, NXT, let's hear their voice. Let's hear them inside this huge weekend we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for the future for WWE. I think the merger is awesome. But I'm also, excited to even be a wrestler around this time. And yeah, I think it's amazing.
It is outstanding to see what's going on though right now. And, recently though, when you did lose, I'll have to bring up again, when you did lose to Becky Lynch, the NXT Women's Championship, there was this term I kept seeing on Twitter, buried. Well, it's called X, I guess now. Buried, she's been buried. A lot of people, especially people from Busted Open Radio, defended how it was not how were you buried when 1 million people watched this match and now know you more than ever. How do you feel about that term? Did you feel buried?
No, not even in the slightest. I feel like even being in the same ring with Becky Lynch just immediately makes my stock go up. I definitely feel like Becky brought out the best in me in that match. And even though I lost the title, I feel like I did not come out with a loss. Like, I feel like I gained so much from that one match, even though I lost.
Yeah, of course. Now, when you have people like, I almost called her a veteran, but I guess she is a veteran compared to some people in NXT, is she giving her advice? Are people taking it in? Because again, someone who won a Royal Rumble, main event at WrestleMania, like she is a history maker involved with you as well. Is she guiding and giving some advice backstage?
Of course, she's always, trying to help out the younger talent. She wants the best for everybody there, and you can definitely tell that for sure.
Man, you recently on NXT threw a scathing line at her saying if you on television didn't slip up, well, we haven't discovered if this is real or not yet, slipped up and said her name, she would have been finding a talent at a retirement home for some clout. And oh my, that was a chef's kiss moment for you. Now, is this something you're sitting backstage going, I have a line that I cannot wait to throw at her because it's gonna hit her right in the face.
I did not know it was gonna hit her right in the face, but I'm glad it did. I definitely feel like that line was very valid, and I had to get it out. I had to let her know.
I do feel like there is a side of the fans who do feel like that, and the other side is like, how dare you, Tiffany? How dare you throw facts in my face, possibly? But what are you gonna do? So many people have dreams of becoming a WWE superstar, and obviously you were recruited part of the Performance Center and brought in. Now, take me through the process because you have a history, you're an athlete. The WWE over the past couple of years has been recruiting many types of athletes. But how did the process go for you? Because I bet a lot of people want to know, like, how do I become a superstar? Well, becoming athletic probably is part of the process, right?
Yes. So my journey to WWE had started at a little wrestling school in Minnesota. It's run by Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. But I actually had submitted my application on WWE's website multiple times and I heard nothing back. So my mom actually knew Greg Gagne, and reached out to him, and she asked him if he could train me, and he did, and he had a little connection down at WWE. And he said that if I could show him that, I can keep up with him and do what he tells me to do, then he would send, my stuff down and have them take a look at me. And he did that for me. And then the tryout came in March of 2019. And it was right when COVID began. So the whole tryout got canceled, unfortunately. 2 years later, I'm emailing them back and forth for like a solid 6 months or so. They finally emailed me back, and I had my tryouts in May of 2022. And then they signed me a couple weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling? You're like, oh boy, I'm going to get signed. I'm going to be here. COVID, dream smashed. At that time, what are you feeling mentally?
I was crushed. I was crushed for sure. But honestly, I think it was for the better, because I did a bodybuilding show and I got in really good shape, and I learned kind of like stuff about dieting and working out and stuff that I feel like I needed to know before becoming a WWE superstar. So I definitely think it was for the better, and I fully believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and even coming in though, when you came in, and it seemed like you had a very, like, hey, I'm like a rich kid type of style. I got a sense of Donald Trump's children inspired your character. I'm not sure if that's true, but where is the inspiration for the development of your character? Because it has changed as time has gone on, but in the beginning, different elements.
Yeah, in the beginning, I was kind of like the daddy's little rich girl. I kind of just was like, I want to get on TV, and this was kind of like new and different, I guess. So I pitched it, it stuck. And it worked for a little bit until they're like, we don't have a daddy for you. So you're not daddy for rich girl.
So was there going to be a daddy though? Like you're going to have a father figure, or like it's your husband, but you call him daddy because he's giving you money?
So we never got that far. We never really
Oh,
figured it out. So that's why I think it got scraped. But eventually, like, the character, my big inspo was Sharpay Evans from High School Musical. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
yeah. Well, I have children, but yes, I do. We're all in this
Yes.
together. Yeah, don't get me
Yeah.
started. I'll continue your story.
I think she's an icon. But and then Paris Hilton has always
Yeah.
been like a big inspiration with like the fashion, the gears, the clothes I wear, the way I wear my hair, my makeup. But I would say those two are definitely, the big inspos for my character. But, slowly my character has kind of just evolved into who I am, and just a little bit turned up.
Yeah, it's working for you. Now, September 30th, of course, on NBC's Peacock, we have WWE presenting NXT No Mercy. You're going for that NXT Women's Championship against Becky Lynch. Now, if fans have never tuned in to an NXT Premium Live event, what can fans expect when they tune in to this amazing event on September 30th on Peacock?
Well, for Becky and I's match, it will be an Extreme Rules match. So anything can happen. Anything can be used. So we might throw a ladder in there. We might throw a chair in there. So if you want to see, ladders and chairs, then I would tune in for that for sure.
Oh man, this is going to be such a great match because everyone was excited about NXT having Premium Live events again, and then traveling, of course. And do you feel like NXT has built enough momentum with the fans and the audiences that weekly you could go on the road and host your weekly shows in different arenas?
Yeah, I think that for sure. I feel like every single PLE that we have, we are getting, I think we're either selling out or we're getting really close to selling out tickets. I definitely think that, a loop or a couple loops here and there would be awesome for NXT.
Right. Like I know some organizations do like a double taping. You go to a location, you tape for 2 weeks, then you go back to your whatever you're doing, and then do it again. But obviously, spoilers and online would kind of ruin that situation. But I think NXT has built enough fan base to continuously go. And I know you see it many interviews after this merger talking about NXT as a third brand, not a developmental territory. And that's to me clearly the WWE has plans for NXT more so than ever with, again, the additions of Becky Lynch and Dirty Dom and everybody else involved there. So how are you feeling about that? Because NXT used to be kind of, oh, we're starting out, we're going to get going, but yet then they're bringing in more talent to rub against. And how do you learn? You learn against people who are better than you.
Yeah, definitely that's how you learn. But I feel like we have so much amazing talent in the performance center that NXT is definitely capable of becoming a third brand. And, with the help of some main roster talent, like Becky, like Dirty Dom, I definitely feel like we could become a third brand for sure.
Yeah, I know things have changed, COVID or whatever, but also following up, Survivor Series is coming up. And it's going to be in Chicago, November 25th. And a few years ago, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. This past year, we had War Games, which I was there live in Boston. It was outstanding. But Raw versus SmackDown is NXT on Survivor Series. Do you see this happening? And who would be on your team if you had to captain a 4-person team heading into Survivor Series to take on Raw and SmackDown?
I think that would be such a great idea. It definitely would help with NXT and, creating that third brand feel. My 4 people that I would pick. Well, I'd have to go with Kiana James because she was my tag partner last night.
There we go.
Kiana James, let me think.
I
think Lash Legend is a freak athlete. I think she brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Maybe her tag partner, Jakara Jackson. And I think this girl, she's kind of just starting out, but she is definitely not somebody that nobody knows, but her name is Lola Vice. I think with the striking and, the submissions that she is very, knows a lot about, I think she could help a lot with the War Games team.
Oh my. Don't pick Tegan Knox though. If you know anything about history and NXT and teams, she turns on people a lot. So if she ever gets involved and comes to you in NXT, stay away. She's a turncoat. Though I'm so excited again. September 30th, No Mercy, NXT Premium Live event. These are always a killer, always a good time. Final question though, Becky Lynch, GOAT. She the greatest of all time? You said Charlotte Flair inspired you though, but which one is it?
I think Becky Lynch is definitely one of the greatest of all time. Not the greatest of all time, but one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah. I think she might hit you in the face harder on September 30th. No Mercy on Peacock for saying something like that. You're like, well, you're not the GOAT. You are a version of the GOAT. You can be like, the antler. But no, it has been an honor and a privilege talking to you, Tiffany Stratton. Again, I'll hit you over the head with it one more time. September 30th, NXT No Mercy on Peacock. Extreme Rules match, people. Tiffany Stratton's going to get her championship match against Becky Lynch, who is, I guess, reading Dr. Seuss books and cutting promos on NXT women. But that's a different story altogether. But I've been Steve Falls. She's Tiffany Stratton. Have a great day. Becky Lynch haters, don't come after me. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.